Hello and welcome to this video showing you how to unlock an Ex2 costume for Resident Evil 6. First of all, you're going to need to make a Resident Evil .Net account. Fairly simple. Where you first go on the website, it'll ask your date of birth and your platform that you have the game on. At the moment, it does have the Wii U and the PC. As far as I know, there is no plans to bring it to the Wii U. That's mainly just for Resident Evil Revelations. And the PC version I know is due soon. I think it's either March or May. I believe it is March, but I could be wrong on that. I did read it somewhere. It was a month that had M in it as its first letter, so that's all I really know on that. But the PC version has got an extra mercenaries difficulty, so that'd be interesting for PC users. Right, once you've made your account, in the what's called the overview, it'll ask you to link your account, whether it be Xbox Live or PlayStation Network. Once that's done, you need to go to the options in the game. Once you load it up, on the main menu you'll see options, and there'll be a thing called auto data upload, and just accept the terms of that and you're pretty much done. All you'll need to do now is participate in the current event, which has about, well, it says 2 days. When I took the screenshot, it's probably about a day and a half now. So I really would encourage you to do this as soon as you can if you really want the costume. I will show you Leon's costume in a minute because I already have it unlocked through doing a previous event. But what you simply need to do is defeat the creature in the picture. There's 2 ways of doing this. One is through where you have to spend some money to do it the way I'm going to show you. I'm not sure on prices outside the UK. In the UK it's £1.59 for 2 maps. That's map pack A, which is called extra stages, I think, map pack A, and the level you need is Requiem of War, because the other one's B, but that's the newer one that doesn't have the level you need. It's Requiem of War is the level you need, because it comes with liquid fire as well. But the other way, if you don't wish to spend money, which is fair enough, I can understand that, then you need to either play on Jake or Chris's campaign. I'd advise Chris's campaign and use Pierce. I'm just going to quickly talk about Leon's costume, and I will get back to that for you, because it's coming up, and I kind of don't want to ignore it for a minute. As you can see, it's his Resident Evil 2 costume. I think the term's low res. I'm just going to say PlayStation 1 graphics. For those who don't know what low res means, because I could be wrong in actually calling it that. I believe that is what it's called. But it's sort of like, it's exactly how it was in Resident Evil 2. And it's sort of blocky like he was in Resident Evil 2 as well. And he's even got these white shoes back, because they did change it in Operation Raccoon City and Dark Side Chronicles. I think that was the only 2 games. I think in Resident Evil Degeneration, which is a film, if you've never heard of it, it's not one of the live action films. I think they term CGI. I think in there's like because it's set after Raccoon City, and they sort of show bits of that, so you might have his black boots in there, but it really doesn't matter. I just, in case I didn't put that, and yeah. But to get back to how to unlock it through the campaign, I'd advise playing on Chris's campaign. It's now the game's been updated so that you can choose a specific part of the chapter. And it's the chapter you want to select is between Bridge and City Hall. I can't remember the exact name of it. I think it's about 3.1 or something like that, 3.2. It might be something like that. I can't remember the exact number, but it'll come to something like City Hall. And it's just the one. I think it's in the 3s, but I could be wrong. But as you go down, it'll give you more, and you want the one that's just after the bridge and before City Hall. As I said, I'd advise using PS because of his anti-material rifle, but if you're not very good with sniper rifles, I ain't actually, to be honest. I did have a few mishits. But the great thing of defeating these creatures through campaign is because there is 2, but you only need to defeat the 1 to unlock anything. But even if you don't defeat the second one, or I'm not sure it carries on if you miss the first, you don't get rid of the first one. I could be wrong. But it'll automatically, whether you defeat the second one or not, it'll automatically count as long as you complete the chapter. So it is a lot easier, but I think it's a bit more time consuming. I'm not entirely sure. I found this the quicker way of doing it, but then considering you're getting 2, even though you have to get 1, you can still play for Resident Evil net points. the term for them. What they unlock is things like wallpaper. So you might have noticed in the screenshot there's a picture of Elena in the background. That's the wallpaper I've got when I go on the site, because you can choose what wallpaper you have. And you can choose your there's like avatars you can you unlock with points. There's like things like I can't remember, it begins with D, some figures they're called. You can make on the thing, I think you can make your own little maps. Now I don't believe, well, I haven't heard of it, and I think they are just for that website. I haven't heard, or there's no option in it in the game, so I'm assuming that you can't use them in the game, which I think if that is something they missed out on, because that would have been really interesting if you can make your own mercenaries map and the creatures that come out in it. I think that'd be a really interesting thing. If they do make another Resident Evil, that's something I think they should really add. But I think you can just make like add figures and buildings and stuff you can unlock points. And the last thing is the Ex2 costumes, which are the costumes you unlock through player mercenaries, but just in a different colour. So that's really all you can unlock with the points. The event they've got at the moment is set that it's the most kills, so if you're going to start doing it today, like taking part in the event, you're not going to get a lot unless you've got a lot of time. So it really does punch people with not a lot of time, really. I'd like to see it somebody that's not got a lot of time but very skilled at the game, so it's the best player will get the most points, and not somebody who's got less time. Someone's going to win it who's got more time than another person. I don't really like that idea, but I mean, Resident Evil Dotnet points aren't really, because the costumes you unlock aren't anything to shout about, because it's just different colour changes and that's it. With the Ex2 Costumes, I only do have Leon's, as I said. It does have Leon had the weapon set that his pirate costume had, which is kind of a shame. I would like to have seen a different loadout, but I'm not going to complain because it's a free costume, so I am really not going to complain too much about that. It just would have been nice to see a different weapon loadout, as I said. If you're going to do it through the mercenaries way, though, I would strongly recommend you use Chris's samurai costume, because his loadout has a rocket launcher and the creature that comes down in a minute, not far off actually. Well, I think they're about 40. It's hard to see because I'm looking at it through Movie Maker. So it looks about 40 kills. Yeah, 41, just 41 combo. You'll sort of know when this creature comes down because of the ground wall shape. There are a few creatures that do make the ground shake as well, and not so much as the creature that does come, the big creature you've got to kill. It's the things with like funny legs. I can't think of the name of them. But this creature does come down, as I said, about, I think I said, it's about 50 to 40, 54 kills. It's around about that time. Just while this is sort of the end of the video, I was just going to sort of touch on my thoughts on Resident Evil 6, because it's something I haven't really talked about at the minute. I actually have enjoyed the game. I do see why it got 5 out of 6, and to a certain degree I think it deserves it. I think some of the bosses in that are very over the top, and don't make a lot of sense. And the story is a bit over the place. It's not really, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but a lot of the conclusions at the end of each story don't really explain a lot, to me anyway. It sort of just was, it seemed a bit rushed, if I'm honest. So story aside though, gameplay wise, I think it's actually really, it's good fun. I mean, I was expecting an action game. I think that's why I haven't been disappointed. But yeah, I mean, if you were expecting survival horror, because I suppose they kind of did tease that a little bit with this footage from Leon's campaign. I mean, there are aspects of it. I have just like went whoa because I didn't see things coming, but it's not like old school Resident Evil where you did get frightened. But there are a few things in Leon's campaign that might make you jump. But after Leon's campaign, it sort of doesn't really go back to those sort of creatures. Capcom, looking at this, they have sort of looked at the sales now and come out and said that it's not sold as well as they hoped, and they're on about they're looking at either rebooting it. Well, they said that's an option, but they're definitely looking at going back to its survival horror roots, which for me is good news. This is the creature you need to defeat. It's quite you've got to hit that if you haven't played Chris's chapter or never encountered this monster. You really just need to shoot that red thing on its back. The other one in Chris's campaign, this is not me trying to spoil it. It's not really vital to the story. I've actually probably spoiled it by saying this too. The other one's got like a steel thing on his back, and all you need to do is it'll eventually, like where there's like other stuff attacking it, the teammates and the squad are attacking it as well. Eventually it'll just like drop down, and all you need to do is quickly run up its arm and pull it off, and then you can attack it. I think other than that, that's really it. The only thing I was to touch on about what I was saying about Capcom going back to survival horror. I think something when I read that, I sort of thought, was trying to think, because I was playing through, because I recently finished Jake's campaign. I finished it last night. There's a part of it where there's like a monster that you sort of got to sneak around. If it sees you, it'll kill you instantly. And I kind of had this thought that one of the things that I think is missing from its survival horror roots is that when in like 5 and 6 it automatically saves like through checkpoints, you don't feel as threatened because you know you can just come straight back from that part if it said checkpoint. So that whereas in the older games you were more cautious because you didn't know what was coming around that corner. I think that's something they need to bring back as well, because I think that adds more tension, and as I said, you're more cautious, so you don't know what's coming, and it does keep you on edge. And I think that's definitely one of the things that is missing. Whether or not it's a huge thing, it's not for me to say really. I mean, as a fan of the series, I would say it's not vital, but it's something that would add more tension. I mean, with Resident Evil 4, I think it might have had a checkpoint as well actually. I can't remember, it's been a long time since I played Resident Evil 4. Well, I say a long time, it was only last year really. But with Resident Evil Revelations coming out for consoles, I actually might finish off the Resident Evil 1 look back that I didn't get to finish last year, or I might do another project. I'm not really sure yet. I have been doing some Tomb Raider stuff. I just want to do a quick update on that if you haven't watched it, or if you have watched it and you're watching this. It's really for people who are interested in the Tomb Raider. The game's actually out on the 5th of March in the UK. I don't know what it is in America. It's probably going to be a couple of days before, which means it will give me a month to finish my look back at Tomb Raider anniversary, so I don't think it's going to be possible to finish it in time. So I may look at, I must get around to testing my Xbox and my new DVD recorder, because it's working lovely with the PlayStation 3, as you can see. So there's no reason it shouldn't be working with the Xbox. But that's going to be another problem, so I'll just have to have a look. But I'm definitely going to do all the old PlayStation 1 games and the history. That's definitely going to happen. So I do apologise for that. That's my own fault. I did explain my reasons why it took so long, if you ever watched my Tomb Raider videos. I did actually add an extra part to this video, but I cut it out because I think it was going to go on too long, and I didn't think it was going to be that good, so I've cut that out. I think that's this bit. I love this bit of Mercenaries where you just hanging on, and I've got about 1 minute left, but unfortunately I haven't got a lot of health, and that happened. But that's the end for this video, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed. Any questions on what I've talked about in the video, do feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll happily try my best to help you with it.